Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back down under the mat. We are here in Madison Square Garage, around the pool table of relevancy. This is Mr. Dan Danielson. I'm Rowdy Roddy Reece. We're here to do our full review of both nights, 1 and 2 of WrestleMania, and all things surrounding WrestleMania, excluding Raw, because this is done after WrestleMania Sunday. So we're going to cover everything up until the end of WrestleMania Sunday, including the press conference and some interesting words from John Cena. I don't know where to start. Like, this whole weekend has been just jam-packed with action from so many different promotions. We've had so much extra content to try and digest around WrestleMania, including the Slammies, the Hall of Fame. We had Smackdown and all the other pre-show, post-show happenings. Like, there's just been so much to try and digest. I don't know where to start.
Okay, well, that's a bit of a clickbait question there, Reece. So you should do better. And you should know better than that. Next question. Thank you. Sorry. If you haven't watched the post-match press conference, that was John Cena. Well done.
It goes straight over your head.
Look, huge amount of stuff to talk about. Firstly, thank you for clicking on our video to listen to our ramblings of what was an incredibly fun weekend of wrestling. If you want to talk to us more, like, subscribe, hit us up in the comments, join our Discord. We'll happily have a chat to everybody about everything that has occurred. We had a fantastic weekend in Madison Square Garage with a bunch of friends, podcast alumni, Josh, and Teddy. Booker Ted was here. Ex-producer Morgan was here as well. And those that may or may not, probably none of you know from my previous podcasting days at the Full 80, Pete was also involved. So
Pete was part of the Full 80?
He was.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, there we go.
So, yeah, so we've had a lot of people here this weekend. There was a lot to watch.
Can't forget to mention Greg as well.
Gregors was here.
He doesn't like it when we forget about it.
No, we don't. But we have to talk about... Sorry, I'm going to put my phone on mute just for you, Greg. No, I'm not. Screw you. Where do we want to start in terms of the weekend? I guess you could talk about Smackdown quickly and how that set things up for the weekend with a fantastic Seth promo.
A pipe bomb.
An absolute pipe bomb promo. And I guess the one thing to talk about the two things that probably happened on SmackDown that should have happened on the WrestleMania card was the Battle Royale, the Andre Memorial Battle Royale.
I can think of a couple matches I would have preferred to have a Battle Royale on the card of instead of them.
But Carmelo Hayes winning that, nice touch.
Yeah, I think that's really good choice. And I think, like, coming into it, we didn't really have any prior predictions other than potentially Karrion Kross or maybe a potential returning superstar who neither appeared and got confirmed for the following week of SmackDown.
I was keen on Ludwig Kaiser for a while, but that didn't happen, so that was fine. And then there was the no finish in the tag match for the tag team titles. It was then Nick Aldis comes in and says, we're going to have a triple threat TLC match. We're like, yes!
Next week on SmackDown. And
why would you do that?
Chops the crowd down. And they're just booing their shit out of that.
And that absolutely should have been on this WrestleMania card because that match would have been way better than
that could have replaced the other tag title match.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to that match.
Very shortly.
Hall of Fame was, look, I watched pretty much all of the Hall of Fame. It was a slog. It was about 3 and a bit hours. Really good to see Lex Luger walk or slightly walk to the stand. He did have an Uber accident on the way to the venue, so he couldn't walk as much as he wanted to.
Smell an incoming lawsuit for Uber.
For Uber, yeah. But that was a really nice speech from his perspective and DDP inducting him. Taker inducting Michelle McCool was nice. She had a really strong sort of speech based on, girls, don't give up your dreams. I was a high school teacher and then I decided to go to the Diva Search and then look at me now. Like, that's a really nice story. The story that they put behind Earthquake and Typhoon, the natural disasters, the stuff with Kamala was good. But realistically, everybody was there to see Seth Rollins sitting next to Paul Heyman in the Hall of Fame. Foreshadowing. And I guess the shots of, it went until 1 a.m. in Las Vegas time. Man. So for New York time, that was 4 in the morning. Like, that's real late. But, Jey Uso was wearing sunglasses and I'm pretty sure fell asleep. Booker T was definitely nodding off at parts in the Hall of Fame. But everyone was there for... Everyone was there for HBK. We haven't watched
Stand and Deliver, so that reference
I'll leave that to you. HBK's induction of Triple H was a really fun induction and how much, obviously, those two boys care about each other in terms of their careers. And
I
how
didn't
much
notice that they kissed until like people were putting out the memes online afterwards.
Oh no, because it was HBK was saying in his thing about how like he and Stephanie
I remember
only
that
ever
part.
kissed on TV. We promise.
Yeah, and then
Those two
I
kissed.
thought that was funny because like I watched it and I must have just missed that like brief interaction before Triple H got to the podium.
Yeah.
And then the days leading afterwards, it came out on social media on Saturday and Sunday, and I was like, oh, I missed that.
That's funny.
God damn it.
Great speech. It's about an hour and a half between HBK and Triple H. Go and watch it because it's a really fun insight and of how Triple H's career and the people that gave him the chances. And he calls out everybody. He calls out Killer Kowalski for training him. He calls out Eric Bischoff for giving him a shot at WCW. He calls out Terry Taylor for all the stuff that he did early in his career. Mick Foley and everyone for the matches that they did. The one I want to touch on that he leaves to last because he obviously thanks his family and everybody else and HBK and how they built NXT together and they wanted to see the future grow and how, we'll talk about it, these 75-80% of this WrestleMania card, NXT alumni.
Yep.
So that's fantastic. He leaves right to the end, Vince.
Yes.
And was brought up again in the post-match or the post-WrestleMania press conference. Just to say to Triple H, thank you for mentioning him. And Triple H's basic statement was none of us would be here without him.
Yeah.
And the way that he didn't glorify Vince at all, he didn't blow smoke up his ass, he didn't do anything like that. He just said that he is pivotal to what this business is. He is it's his wife's father, it is his kid's grandfather. He would have to say thank you to him for his career.
Yep.
And for what he did for the business. And I think that is the most politically correct way to put it.
Absolutely.
Is that as even us as wrestling fans, we have to sort of give credit to what Vince has done for wrestling as a business, for what WWE has become.
The empire that he's built.
Yep. He's a piece of shit human.
Yes.
But that is separate to Vince McMahon as the owner and the creator of what this WWE is these days.
And the character.
And for us to now have someone like Triple H that has taken all of that throughout his whole career, the fact that he went into the production meetings early, everything that he's done, the way he's now put together these last few WrestleManias and this card tonight, and he even said it on the post-match that it's a really tough job booking a WrestleMania, but you've got to make sure the energy of the crowd goes with all the matches and all that. All of this is throughout his career, and a lot of that comes from he who shall not be named. So that was really nice that he mentioned it, because I think it would have been worse
if he just
didn't say anything.
He just glazed over it.
Yep. But that was a huge. I'll pass to you for Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, I'll touch on Stand and Deliver very briefly. I didn't get to watch the whole card, but I managed to have my body clock tell me to wake up at 5:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. No, Standard Time we're on now.
Yeah.
And I managed to get 90% of the card in. I did not see the men's triple threat main event, but I know who won. Kicking off the show, Ricky Starks, Ethan Page. They had a fantastic match. Again, Tony fumbled chants echoing throughout the arena. Ricky Starks would retain his championship with a bloody mouth, so I haven't heard any news on whether there's any sort of like long-term damage done. I think it was just a bit of bruising or something, and he's coughed up a bit of blood. So Ricky retained against Ethan Page in a good match. Following that, we had the NXT Tag Team Championships, which were won by
controversial
Hank and Tank. Yeah, a little controversial, I think, after their gauntlet match win on NXT this week, and then probably about halfway through the match, I sort of clicked on. I was like, "Oh, Hank and Tank are winning here, aren't they?" And then they would go on to win.
I suppose if you win a gauntlet tag team match, you end up winning the titles, don't you?
We'll touch more on that very later. There were a couple of really good spots that I want to shout out. The main spot that I want to shout out is, again, I don't know who Hank and Tank is. Like, I don't know which one's which is which. But the one with the short hair, he had the ropes held open by the one with the long hair. And then he did a tope suicida straight through, and he cleared the outside and landed directly on the announce table. And for a bigger guy like him to be able to get that speed and distance from a suicida, massive props to him. There are a few spots where it was like a couple of the finishes that Fraxium usually use to finish their matches. They got either kicked out of, I think they mainly got broken up. There wasn't too many kickouts of actual finishes, so I really liked that aspect. But yeah, Hank and Tank came out on top. Nathan Fraser copped the pin. So I can see him somehow trying to blame Axiom in that. And then I see them having a feud before they go to the main roster, or maybe Triple H wants them as a tag team on the main roster. We'll see what happens. The Women's North American Championship ladder match was great.
Saw the finish to this.
Yeah, the finish was amazing. Sol Ruka ended up winning the championship for the first time after having a really nice emotional moment with her partner Zarya on the top, and they were just like hesitating to throw blows. Zarya just grabbed her and was like, it's all right, let's just do this. And then they start trading blows. Zarya takes a bump off the top of the ladder. Sol Ruka hits a double soul snatcher off the ladder, hits another soul snatcher, runs back up that ladder, gets the championship. Absolutely amazing to see that.
And like the thing that I'll say to that finish, when I saw the clip, I liked it. The fact that when she hit the finish, she just ran up the ladder and got the title.
She didn't slowly crawl up. She just boom straight up that ladder.
Hate that.
Hitting your finisher back to back like that, your adrenaline's got to be pumping.
Yep.
She showed that actually does happen, and she just climbed up the ladder. I liked the little touch of Zarya clutching the bottom of the ladder and looking up.
Yeah,
like you did it. I'm like you could see the disappointment in her eyes as well because she didn't get the title. Dark State defeated the family after Stacks turned on Tony D, which we've all been expecting for a few weeks now.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, definitely.
You don't even watch NXT. Like, I watched NXT for the first time this week in a few weeks just because like work and life
just to catch up.
Been so busy. So I made sure I watched it before WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver. Stephanie Vaquer retains her championship in an amazing fatal 4-way. I highly recommend you and
stealing moves off Charlotte Flair. I see.
You're trying to get a rise out of me. You're not
I wouldn't
do
that.
You're not going to get it yet.
Okay.
I highly recommend anyone watching who hasn't seen that. The 2 women's matches from Stand and Deliver, they really outshone everything else for me personally. I think those are the matches of the weekend for NXT, definitely. And I honestly think the women's matches on the WrestleMania card as well, they were pretty high up there.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that the general consensus from a lot of people going into WrestleMania were that they were just overbooking things with multi-people matches, and you're just throwing superstars on the card to get there. But I think those matches
most of them paid off, dude.
Yeah,
like, especially that fatal 4-way, and it happened on the WrestleMania card as well. The pacing of them being able to interchange who's in the big spots, like they're just getting into a really good rhythm of being able to structure these matches so well, and it's so entertaining to see. I absolutely love it.
And I mean, I know our mate Ted says that the one-on-one match is his favorite match, and I think that in general, a one-on-one championship match like you saw with Cody and Cena and stuff is the pinnacle of what the business should be. But I also think a really well-booked multi-person match with a storyline is so much more fun.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, with this women's 4-way, even the clips I've seen, there was no stopping.
No.
In the women's triple threat on Mania, no stopping. The Intercontinental 4-person match, no stopping. No. Everything had a moment and everything just kept on rolling through.
Spot to spot to spot to spot. And like those parts where it's usually a bit of a downer in between for people to set up their next spot.
You've got someone already doing something.
Yeah, other people are doing things. So they've got your attention the whole time. Yep. Obafemi would retain his NXT championship. I'm not sure in what manner. I haven't seen any clips, really, of that match. Probably try and find the time in the next week to go back and watch it to see what actually happened. But I think we'll move on to the WrestleMania card now, shall we?
I think we shall. There was lots of pre-show, lots of video packages, lots of things like that we're going to need to go through.
I really want to shout out a specific video package that they did. We're not there yet, but the men's triple threat.
Oh, so good.
The video package there, WWE are untouched in doing video packages, and the song that they used made me go back and listen to Machine Head because I hadn't listened to them in a very long time.
I mean, the first thing I want to touch on for WrestleMania is the stadium looked phenomenal.
The stage looked ridiculous.
The way that WWE, when they invest the time and money to build a stage around a theme, the fact that this was all casino built, the fact you had crowds sitting in the stage.
Yeah, like up the top on the rafter and on the sides.
That was so
amazing
good.
Touch.
The cards that they had hanging above the ring that dropped down as Roman and that were walking through it, where you had, essentially his entire bloodline that he walked through on his 17-minute long entrance to the ring.
17.
It looked so good. Like the set, the stage, the grandiose of what WrestleMania is was really sold by the way this looked. So that to me is the first point I want to call out, is that this looked like a WrestleMania. It looked phenomenal.
And speaking of looking phenomenal, we kicked off the show with Jey Uso coming out through the crowd. 61,000 people yeeted. Yeah, and it looked great. He was under 10 minutes, which we were a little surprised about.
And then you got him dabbing up Cole.
That was pretty good.
That was good.
I think we nailed that. Gunther just comes out, storms to the ring. It's time to get it on.
I love the juxtaposition of those two entrances.
Oh, absolutely.
So good.
And especially with how Gunther's been getting lately. Like, he's been getting worked over by Jay. Like, he's rattled by Jay. And you all know by now, he got rattled to the point where he tapped out. Now, just before we touch on that and give our thoughts on that finish, this match did... It was a lot better than we were expecting from Jey Uso and Gunther. Gunther, we know he can pull a 4-5-star match out of his asshole. Jay, on the other hand, we were a little bit skeptical about, and we kind of noticed about halfway through the match, we feel like Jay was purposely not using super kicks.
Yes, he was trying other moves. He was trying other things.
And he was proving that he can wrestle.
And I think this shows that this... Look, I'm going to probably say Meltzer gives this 4.25, maybe 4.5, if that, right?
Yeah.
Really good story into it in the last couple of weeks that we finally got to this point, and the finish is obviously what the crowd wanted.
Yeah.
But to me, this is the best Jey Uso match you're going to get in the ring. And it's a just above average Gunther match. So it kind of shows the juxtaposition again of these two characters of how Gunther is the ring general. The mat is sacred. He's so good in the ring. And to me, Jay is a character that is so over with the crowd that is deserving of the championship. And you saw that with the entrances. You saw that with Jay yeeting on the table, everything with Pat and stuff. The story that they told, the way that he made Gunther tap, which was the same way that Gunther made Jimmy pass out right in front of him, really touching. Jimmy coming out at the end to celebrate with him. I kind of was hoping for more Bloodline. I was kind of hoping for Rikishi.
Yeah.
They had a spot for the three of them to do a Too Cool dance right in the middle of the ring, and they didn't do it. So that might have been a missed opportunity. But the match in itself, where Jay was hitting a powerbomb on Gunther, Jay was kicking out of moves. Jay, like you said, didn't hit super kicks.
What I really liked was when Gunther had Jay in his grasp and it was just continually chopping him.
Yep.
And Jay would just take it and laugh at him and be like, come on, give me more. Like,
he's prepared.
having showing that and being like, I'm ready. I know what you can dish out. I'm ready to take it and I can beat you. I absolutely loved having that written into the story with that match. One thing that we all kind of touched on live was the WrestleMania referee getting the belt hit. Like he was standing in the way. Gunther was outside with the championship because he was going to walk away. He was just going to leave everyone. Match done. You guys don't deserve the proper match finish. Ref's outside telling him, get it back in, get it back in. Jay, off the ropes, goes to dive. Ref ducks out of the way. Championship belt to their head. Absolutely love seeing that. We got the triple splash from Jey Uso, and then the sleeper.
It was a poetic finish.
Yes, I like it as the finish. I just think it was rushed.
It's too quick
that spot because it was like Jay locked it in, and then he fell back, and then within a few seconds, Gunther was tapping. Gunther was tapping to his own sleeper hold finisher. Within 10 seconds of that sleeper getting locked in, he's tapped out. I don't believe that as a story. Yeah. I like the ending, but if you had given us like 20 more seconds and he's there struggling, he's trying to get out of it and he rolls up, but then Jay flips him back over and like Gunther trying to fight out of that and failing and then tapping, I feel like it would have hit a lot better.
There'll be story to this.
But yeah, I think they just ran with that. Jay got his moment. They capitalized off that. Jimmy came in the ring. They embraced emotions. Yep. They went back up through the crowd. So
they had a few libations because when Jay came back out for the post-match...
well, he kicked off the show. Of course he's going to have a few libations.
He was a bit of a mess in the post-match presser, but that was fun.
Moving on to the next match on the card, the Raw Tag Team Championships. It was a Raw quality match. I think the majority of us that were in attendance at Dan's house agree that it was not worthy of a main event spot, a WrestleMania spot, sorry.
I agree, yeah.
And... like, it wasn't that it was a bad match. Let's clear that up now. It was just that the quality of it and especially the ending of it. Mm-hmm. And we probably overbooked it a little bit too much. We thought Big E might come back and help New Day win and turn heel. We thought something big was going to happen, and that's why that match got put on the card. But no, they just hit their finish, went for the pin. Kofi held the leg down.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, grabbed the titles. Whoop!
There's a lot of Clash of Clans costumes and advertising for this.
Compared to the War Raiders' usual shtick that they do, that was just... it was comical in a bad way. Like, I get it, it was like a direct reference of Clash of Clans, which sponsored the match. But it just didn't look right for the War Raiders.
The right winner, average match, it should have been... It should have been the SmackDown tag titles. I think that
Should've
match
been that
should have been
TLC
on there.
man.
But, I mean, it only got 9 minutes. So I don't think you could fit a TLC match on there with 9 minutes. So if that's the case, then that's what it was. And look, the New Day probably deserves the win. They're now, 14-time tag team champions? Something like that?
They've broken the record easily.
Of course they have. They're way in front of everybody else. They will absolutely go into the Hall of Fame eventually.
Yeah.
They are the best tag team. They deserve the win. I'm glad they've got the titles. It's just, I don't think it needed to have the spotlight in Mania that some other matches probably should have had.
No, absolutely not. Moving on to first women's match of the evening. Jade versus Naomi. Praise the Lord, Naomi has new music, and it's a fucking banger.
Oh, yeah.
Loved
Naomi's
it.
entrance.
Hard rock, heavy metal music. Sign me up.
Oh,
it's
excuse
great.
me. Excuse me. There's a bit of thunder. Oh, is that lightning?
Oh, that was so cringe,
I think a
dude.
storm is coming.
Oh.
Quick, everybody, run out of the studio. That was bad.
That was bad.
Sorry, Jade. That was really lame.
Bad.
Really, really lame. Yeah. You forgot about that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I erased it from my memory because it was very cringy.
But to me, I'm going to use the word juxtaposition again because that's clearly my word of this podcast.
Oh.
Between Naomi's
We always have those,
darker,
don't we?
darker metal, obviously heel entrance to Jade's much brighter,
White
almost
gold.
comical entrance with the
Yeah.
storm thing. I don't think that fits the Jade character. The Jade character is all about aura.
Yeah.
The way she looks, the storm, all that sort of stuff
whole-
is
and,
what
and
she
like
is.
whether they cut a deal to have him involved somehow.
I don't know who
this
that guy
is
was.
just where
Was he someone special?
I don't know, a reporter. If not, he was a very bad actor.
If you know in the comments, please let us know because I just thought it was just a really
Well,
poor
that's
clip.
the thing. American weathermen, like, we're Australian. Shoot us. This match.
Don't actually shoot us.
No, please don't. We know you hold firearms all the time. This match as a whole, I think I was really impressed with it. I thought it was
too.
a great match,
Yep.
especially for Jade being her first singles outing on a WrestleMania card.
And the only slip she made was in her costume.
Very unfortunate. A lot of adjustments during the match, which kind of like took everyone's attention away from it. a little
Especially
bit.
producer Morgan, who noticed it very quickly.
Yeah, even after people mentioned it, I noticed that she was adjusting herself, but I never actually saw anything. So good. Amazing power spots from Jade. There were a couple power bombs off the top rope. The one where she had Naomi in the electric chair and spun her around into a power bomb.
That was sick.
Absolutely amazing. Jade ended up going on to win the match, which I'm a little cut about. I understand.
Nah,
they're
she was
pushing-
winning this all day.
Yeah, I know, but I'm on board the Naomi bandwagon now. She's finally got that character change, the attitude that she's got with her promos now. I'm really enjoying this new side of Naomi and the new music as well.
Can we?
I'm enjoying it.
I mean, we'll future book this obviously because we do, but
Proceed with caution.
Naomi would make a good world title challenger now to a face Tiffany Stratton,
Oh,
and you could throw Charlotte, who is the veteran who knows how to put any good match on with anybody, with Jade Cargill.
spoiler, she doesn't. I don't want to see that match.
You don't? Well,
No, I'm not high on Charlotte whatsoever
we'll
lately,
get there.
so I
Sorry, I
don't want
shouldn't
to see
have
it.
poked the bear this early.
Moving on to our United States Championship match. Jacob.
This was only 10 minutes.
It was.
10 minutes and 40 seconds. I felt that this was way longer. Maybe it was just
And this
me.
was the thing about WrestleMania night one. We had more people over for night one.
We
than
had
did
more
night two.
libations.
We had more. Yeah, we did have more libations. This guy mainly. So there was a lot of talking, and I feel like after WrestleMania night one concluded, we started doing all the social media rounds and seeing what everyone's reviews and stuff were. We feel like we may be underselling this match slightly because everyone's absolutely raving about this match. We thought it was good, but like nothing absolutely amazing. I'm happy Jacob Fatu won.
Me too, for sure. And I'm glad Solo didn't cost him. When Solo walked out on the ramp with him, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, and then he just let him. He just let Jacob go down, and he went to the back. I really liked that.
Yep.
Because if Solo had been there, we would have been waiting the entire match for him to do something that cost Jacob.
Correct.
And that eliminated that aspect. A few, probably one pretty cool spot Dan doesn't like. Jacob Fatu's moonsault into the
God,
BFT.
it's such a good moonsault. God, it's such a terrible BFT. No,
Cool.
it looked fine.
It looked pretty cool. It looked cool. I like that they're trying to work in different ways to do a BFT. Like you've got different ways to get an RKO out of nowhere.
What do you mean different ways? Like he's literally copying what RKO's Randy's done in the
Different
past.
ways,
It's like how can I?
I've
someone
never
can
seen
moonsault
Randy
into it.
hit an RKO off a moonsault. You know why? Because
He's on the wrong side of it. Yeah.
exactly.
Oh, the BFT,
Suck
it's
it.
fine.
Suck it.
BFT sucks.
We had a double moonsault from Jacob Fatu to then seal the victory.
Jacob Fatu moves way too well for a big man.
He's got so much agility.
The pure fact that he has been in this company for less than 12 months and he is as over as he is and he's winning titles at WrestleMania within 12 months just goes to show you how talented he is. And
Within another 12 months, I reckon he'll be a world champion.
I don't think so. I think the world championship story's above him currently, but maybe 2 years. I could see it.
Well,
It's just...
I was like, well, I feel like 48 months is too long, so I'll drop that down.
Okay. Yeah, like he's so good. His character is over. The inevitable feud between him and Solo will just push him even further, I think, with the crowd. And LA Knight doesn't take any, like, he obviously lost, but I don't think he takes any, like, career. He wasn't buried in his match by any stretch of the imagination. They both looked really good. This was probably, looking back on it now, my favorite LA Knight match that he's had. Even against the ones with like Roman at Crown Jewel and stuff like that, and things that he's had with Mello and Andrade and stuff. Like, he's had really good matches, but I think him and Jacob work really well together. Yeah. And every sequence that they did something, it looked like a proper sequence, and it was perfectly timed. You know, LA Knight always does that jump to the top rope flip thing. It worked so well because you know Jacob's going to go on the top rope and hit his twisting moves and his moonsaults. So LA Knight to do that isn't out of place. Whereas when he has matches, you know, against Braun Strowman, you're like, why is Braun Strowman anywhere near the top rope? Oh, it's because LA Knight has to hit his move thing. Yeah. These two guys just worked so well together that the match they put together was a very strong match start to finish. And again, what I think we'll talk about throughout most of this WrestleMania is the right decision was made, the right person won. And I think that Fatu coming out of this looks stronger.
Yeah, and I think with that statement about the right people winning is pretty correct for the majority of these WrestleMania
There's
matches.
one that I don't like.
There's a few. No, there's a couple. I kind of maybe it was just one.
I've only got the one. I agree with every other win but one.
We'll touch on it shortly. We will move on to the El Grande Americano match, which Rey Mysterio was replaced at the last minute by Rey Fenix due to an injury sustained on Smackdown this week. So
I'm really glad that they had the moment in Smackdown, which I think was so in the Battle Royale, Rey Fenix climbed across the top ropes to do his move. El Grande Americano, Chad Gable had already been eliminated.
Yes, correct.
And obviously
by Rey Fenix.
By Rey Fenix. And that obviously means that, you know, him and then El Grande Americano coming out later, two different people, because how could Chad be in the match and then also in the match? That's ridiculous.
Doesn't make sense.
But he dragged Rey Fenix over the top rope and took him out, which sets up the 6-person tag match for later in the SmackDown, which was to get Rey Mysterio and Rey Fenix and Dragon Lee against American Made. But thankfully, that little bit of storytelling was there because Rey got injured in that match, replaced by Rey Fenix, and now you can at least say, well,
like there was a link there. It wasn't just a random replacement.
Correct.
So.
And I think that was very lucky on their behalf.
A lot of people immediately jumped to Dragon Lee replacing Rey Mysterio, but I feel like with that little thread that we had to be able to tie Rey Fenix into it, it was the better decision to make.
Yep, and I think...
And that's nothing against Dragon Lee.
No, not at all. But I think Rey Fenix getting his debut on Mania the same time his brother Penta does also
amazing for these two brothers to have within a few months for both of them to be on a WrestleMania card.
6 months ago, they were not being used by AEW. And now they're both on WrestleMania.
It's crazy how time turns around.
Can we talk about...
the reverse 540 senton?
Before that, the phenomenal entrance of El Grande Americano. The overdubbing in Spanish of his interview.
Oh, I forgot about
brilliant.
the promo.
That was all fantastic. The sepia tone and everything of all the old Mexican stuff. Like, I know what I think is so good with this is, yes, it's making a joke of luchadors to a degree, but it's making a joke of making a joke of luchadors. Like, it knows, like Triple H and WWE know they are making a joke about luchadors. They are not picking on luchadors saying luchadors are stupid and we think they're terrible. That's why we're going to have this American do the gimmick, which might have been 20 years ago what they would have done.
Yeah.
I feel like this is making a joke that Chad Gable thinks that he's a luchador, but we all know that you're not a luchador, so we're laughing at you pretending to be a luchador versus the luchadors.
But then he pulls out a 540 reverse senton. Like, we've never seen Chad Gable hit El Grande Americano. We've never seen El Grande Americano hit that move in any of his matches.
I think I've seen anybody hit that move.
No, and that's why I popped so hard for it. It was
brilliant.
I love it when I see new shit. I love it.
And we said this for a while, that someone, if it was to be Chad Gable, that has such strength and agility of someone their size, works so well with luchadors because they can throw them around. They can make them look good. And he made Rey Fenix look like a star in this match. Both of these guys, this is, for us to say, like, this is probably one of the best luchador matches you've seen on a WrestleMania, considering one of them wasn't even a luchador. Yeah. That's so good. The metal thing in the mask is a bit dumb, but look, it's fine.
The dumb part was Rey Fenix kicking the metal plate with his right foot and then getting the ankle lock on his left foot.
That was.
What I really loved for the finish though was the direct finish. Rey Fenix jumping off the top rope and El Grande Americano, because he had a plate under his mask already. Boom, boom, just headbutt straight away. Up, diving headbutt, 1, 2, 3. Yep. I really like that as the finish.
The point to touch on outside of this match that also occurred this weekend is the purchase of AAA.
The acquisition of AAA
for
caught
WWE.
Me off guard.
Quite funny that, you've got Stephanie Vaquer, who is hated by AAA because she was a former CMLL wrestler, and they have a very strong distaste for each other. Was at the announcement of it, and you've got Stephanie standing front there.
Yeah. Andrade didn't look too happy in that announcement either.
No, but Vikingo was shown in the crowd. He kicked El Grande Americano in the head before the match even started. And I think this is very clearly going to set up some form of feud between the WWE Luchadors
versus El Grande Americano for Worlds Collide.
Mate, that'd be sick.
Sign me up. Sign me up,
If you've
bro.
not seen Vikingo's matches, man,
I'm ready. I am prepared.
Some of the things he's done in TNA and AEW and that's just the
Phenomenal.
American stuff that I've seen. Even if you go and watch his Mexican things, it's ridiculous how crazy this guy is. He will do. Gravity doesn't listen to him. He doesn't listen to Gravity. He is ridiculous what he can do in the air. The matches that they will put on.
Whose wrestler is the? Oh, it's Pac, the man that Gravity defies.
Yeah, that's
man that defies gravity.
Yeah, no, Vikingo's way better than that. But that kind of is, I think, what the big tie into this story and why El Grande went over. Maybe Rey Mysterio was going to win this match in the first place. Obviously, the injury sucks.
I heard that El Grande Americano was winning the entire time.
Well,
before Rey got
makes
replaced.
Way more sense now that they've purchased AAA. They're going to have a Worlds Collide,
and then they've got this big American villain to go against.
Perfect.
It makes storyline sense. Yep. So great to see El Grande get his WrestleMania debut victory. Moving on to a very hotly contested match in the lead up to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair.
Can we both just say we're glad this is now over?
Oh, thank God it's done. Oh, my God. I think the only aspect that put this above the tag team match for us...
was Charlotte's promo on SmackDown, how good that was.
I actually liked the bit of emotion. Shut the fuck up. Let me speak for a second. I actually kind of liked the bit of emotion that she showed in that promo.
It's really hard for her to show emotion because her face doesn't move.
Here I am trying to give Charlotte a compliment after shitting on her for weeks and weeks and weeks, and Dan just tries to make a joke out of it. Anyway, moving on. We had a spectacle entrance from both of them, didn't we? Didn't Charlotte
got in with a Bentley. Because LA Knight came in a Maserati, so she was like, how do I get bigger than that? So she got a Rolls Royce, sorry. She got a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, I'm not a car person. I don't know.
I gathered that much. But then, Tiffany's Barbie entrance.
The Barbie box entrance, which she went on in the post-show press conference for night one to explain that it's an idea that she's had for a while, pitched it in NXT, it got shot down, didn't line up.
The buff Barbie idea, yeah.
Yeah, and then now she pitched it to Triple H. She's like, yes, love it, let's do it. And it was phenomenal, especially having that sort of spectacle for her at WrestleMania, for her debut WrestleMania match.
Mm-hmm.
Did take a lot of notes.
This match was stiff.
Yes.
Which we expected it to be. They just brawled and pulled each other's hair and just rolled around in the ring, and it was
ridiculous.
It was pretty crazy. The bump on Tiffany's forehead post this match is pretty huge.
Her teeth are fine, thankfully.
She was bleeding from the mouth though, so
I reckon that's what it was. Maybe there was a clump of blood over the front of her teeth, and it looked like she chipped her tooth.
Yeah.
So, because she put up the photo after the match, like pointing at her teeth. Like,
Yeah,
I'm fine. It's all good. Because everyone was concerned about that. I was. The bump on her head though.
It was a big one.
Yeah. Painful. Tiffy would go on to win this match, thank God.
20 minutes.
Is that the longest match on the card?
Bar the main event, yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, Charlotte deserves that, being who she is. Death's taxes, Charlotte Flair coming back from injury to win a title. Oh, no, it didn't happen. Thank God. There we go.
The prophecy is broken.
Look, I didn't mind the match itself. They worked well enough together. There was no sandbagging. They rolled around in like the figure eights and stuff like that. Like there was...
I don't know about no sandbagging. That finishing spot looked like Charlotte was sandbagging a little bit.
Well, where she copped the moonsault.
No, like the roll over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, look, it was what it was. Right person won for us, we think, for the crowd. Putting over Youth is probably a better choice.
Yeah.
Obviously, Charlotte doing the head over the knees over the head thing and banging the head onto the mat way better than Stephanie Vaquero ever does. So I'm glad that the Queen can retain and retake back her moveset that she deserves to have. Right?
I hate you so much.
And, her moonsault is better than Tiffany's.
She doesn't even do moonsaults anymore.
14-time world champion. She's deserved of this spot of the co-main event of the night.
If they were smart, they would already recognize her as a 16-time world champion because she's had the NXT championship twice.
Doesn't count.
Dumb.
Tiffy winning was the right choice. I'm glad this was over, to be fair. And I really hope this feud is done. Don't put the two back together. It does not work. They hate each other. Just don't do it.
I said it either yesterday afternoon or this morning. Just send Charlotte to dethrone Chelsea and let her do a John Cena and elevate a mid-card championship. Do open challenges. Like
Chelsea
whatever.
doesn't deserve that, but okay. I can see it.
No, she didn't even defend her championship on the card or on the SmackDown prior.
I don't think that's her fault. She was there all weekend.
Book 'em better, bro.
Should have wrestled. We said this. Main event time.
Main event time. Out first. Seth Rollins.
With the flamethrower.
With his little black cloak thing.
His garbage bag.
Yeah, the garbage bag. It looked terrible. I'm glad that he derobed.
Mm-hmm. The Night One Messiah, Seth Rollins. Saturday Night Messiah.
Saturday Night Messiah. Kind of like that.
The Saturday Night Savior, Seth Rollins.
Ooh, that's a good one. We'll at you on Twitter.
You can have that one.
You can have
It's
it.
yours.
You can have it.
WrestleMania tickets next year.
Seth comes out with the flamethrower, black trash bag, cloak on, lights go out. We're like, oh, what's going on? Is Shield music gonna hit? No. Black robe is gone. Just pure white. The savior of WrestleMania comes down to the ring. Roman's out next. No tribe.
Roman's
no wise
alone.
man. By himself. We mentioned it earlier on in the show, the little pillars that came down that they had the cards displayed on above the entrance ramp and going through the Anawai family as Roman's walking down. One would descend behind him with another one of the family members.
And the Wild Samoans and High Chief Maivia and The Rock and everybody was
Rikishi.
there. Rikishi, Yokozuna. That looked sick. It really was
It was like having those displayed above the entrance ramp was a really subtle way to be able to enhance wrestling entrances.
Yep. And having Roman be alone and obviously playing up the point that Heyman wasn't coming out with him. He was a tribal chief without a tribe. Having this entrance for him was still, grandiose in that you saw his whole family, your whole bloodline.
Yep.
He looked like a superstar as he always does, but he was still alone. He was by himself. And it's the first time that we have seen Roman in a main event or in WrestleMania by himself in years. So that to me was a really nice touch. Obviously having the white wrestling boots and stuff rather than his red gear and his red glove that he normally has. So he was black and white as well. It was a nice juxtaposition. There's that word again. To Seth Rollins. And then you got the incredible video package for CM Punk.
Oh,
that was played to
phenomenal.
This Fire Burns by Killswitch Engage, which is his previous theme.
I did see clips afterwards that the entire stadium was singing it. So
it's a great song.
Smart choice for them to use that for the video package.
But the way that they had Punk from 20 years ago, from his Ring of Honor days, from his NXT, well not, did he do NXT? No, his OVW days, sorry. Yeah. Saying that, he's drug free, he's this free, and he's going to take over.
My addiction is wrestling.
And then him now saying, I'm drug free.
Just constantly cutting back and forth between the two. They are so good
Chef's kiss,
at
man.
doing these vignettes and these promotional packages.
And then him coming out to Cult of Personality from Living Colour, them obviously playing him out, him in the same hoodie ensemble that he had versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania 29. Obviously, Heyman with him, the same as he had at WrestleMania 29.
So many callbacks.
Oh, I got so many chills from this entrance, man. This was superb to see the way that they've put all three of these characters together. And we said this on our podcast last week, that they've done such a good job now of getting each of them to have a story that interlines with each other, so that no matter what happened, there was always something with Punk and Seth, Punk and Roman, Seth and Roman. It's like it was Paul and Punk, Paul and Seth, everything was there. There was the favors. The whole lot was in this story. And the entrances just made it feel bigger. And then Heyman coming out with Punk at the end made it feel bigger. And then the match did not stop.
No.
It was such a fun triple threat match. They all kind of brawled with each other. There was no real down points. Obviously, Seth trying to convince Roman to shield powerbomb Punk sort of midway through the match. I think the match was kind of a match in three, right? There was the initial feeling out part of the match where there was just a whole bunch of stuff happening. The second part of the match then happened when Seth tried to get Roman to remember the Shield, right? Remember what we did. We need to take this business over. We need to go back and do what we can. We need to get rid of him. He has a cancer. He's not all we need. Get him out of here. And Roman thinks about it. Goes, yep, let's do it.
You see him like sucking up like he used to.
And then
he just punches Seth. Boom. Get him out of the picture. Power bombs Punk through the announce table.
Seth first? No, it's Punk. Does he do Punk first?
Punk because he hit Seth to get him out of the way.
Yeah.
Does Punk first through the announce table. We haven't seen these new announce tables break yet. So that was the first time. Absolute chaos. Screen shattered. Crumbs of shit everywhere. And then does it to Seth with the Spanish announce table.
Yeah. Amazing. Roman's all over it. Then the third part of the match kicks in where everyone's doing their finishes. And we go, how do we go home with the match? The spot that I mean, there's so many really fun spots, but the spot that we loved, we all popped real hard. Roman's looking for a spear, goes to spear Seth. Seth jumps up, pedigree. Brilliant.
Love it.
And then a little bit after that, there's the spot where Punk hits the go to sleep on Seth. Seth is out. Roman hits the spear on Punk. And then as he rolls over, Seth then stomps Roman. And then bang, all three of them are down. And normally you'd be like, oh, how did he know Cell to go to sleep? It looks stupid. It's very, mud show.
No, he was trying to crawl over for a pin.
It was just...
It's the psychology of it.
It looked so good. And then all three men down towards the end, you're like, all right, here's the finish. And part 4 of the match starts. when Paul Heyman
grabs the chair. Oh. He grabs the chair. And we're all on the edge of our seats at this point. Like, who's he going to get? I thought he'd slide it into the middle of the ring and give all three an opportunity to try and get that chair. No. Slides it in directly to Punk. You see the heartbreak on Roman Reigns' face. Paul Heyman gets in the ring and Punk, he's ready. He's gearing up to hit Roman with that chair.
Whooshka! Oh, no. And Paul, thank you so much for watching our podcasts and understanding how to hit low blows.
Got to hold it.
Thanks, brother.
Got to hold it. And I must acknowledge you, my tribal chief.
Before that, this is the point I want to make, and I think that a lot of people they're not glossing over it, but when Heyman hits that low blow on Punk, his best friend for how long? He's broken. He
betrayed his best
friend.
Did
not want to do this. He did not want to do this to Punk. And he was crying and he was emotional and it wasn't part of the plan and he didn't want to have to do it, but he did because he needed to. And he hands the Punk to Roman, the chair to Roman, and points to Seth, who's against the ropes.
Poetic. It always comes back to this. Whether it's Roman about to get hit against the ropes or it's Seth.
It's poetic. It's just a beautiful moment. And he points it out and he says, my tribal chief, look.
He's in the position.
And this is the thing I want to call out. When Roman sort of puts him behind him. I've got this.
Right.
When Heyman hits the low blow on Roman, right? And he wiggles it around.
It's the wiggling around for me every time I see that clip. It's
Look at Heyman's face. Heyman is angry. Heyman is doing that because he has to. And he wants to. And he's aggressively hitting Roman Reigns because he is the tribal chief. that made him choose. You made me pick my best friend. You told me that he was nothing and that I could just say no to him, but I can't. He's my best friend. Punk was collateral damage in all of this. Heyman did not want to do this to Punk. Heyman wanted to do this to Roman Reigns. He was turning on Roman for Seth. That was going to happen. Punk was collateral damage. Punk was his best mate. And the emotion that Heyman sold, crying, taking Punk out of this match, but then the aggression in taking out Roman and then just dusting himself off and Seth standing there and just puts his hand out.
He was facing the ramp and he just put his hand at, because everything happened behind him. He didn't see. He was probably watching.
There's a massive screen, right?
Don't want to break the facade. He just puts his hand out. Paul hands him the chair. Hits Roman.
Stomps Roman.
Kicks Punk out of the ring. 1, 2, 3. We called the winner. We did. I think I was trying to not overbook myself with the Heyman siding with Seth part in this match. I thought maybe post WrestleMania, but it happened.
Brilliant.
Amazing. I'm happy to be wrong.
The story MVP of this match is again Paul Heyman, man. His facial expressions throughout the whole match, where he was uneasy seeing his two loves, his tribal chief and his best friend, fighting each other. He didn't want it to come to this, but it did. And then the finish, where I think that it was the seeds were there, right? That Seth was going to do this, that he was going to do what's best for business. He was going to save.
He got the favour from Heyman.
He got the favour from Heyman, and the fact that one of his last lines on his Smackdown promo was that's not a prediction, that's a spoiler. It was, because that's exactly what he did with him and Heyman.
So good.
5 stars, 5.5 stars. I don't know what Meltzer will give it, because
fuck Meltzer.
it's not flippy Will Ospreay. Storytelling wise, this was phenomenal. This main event,
so many layers in the lead up, and then they all paid off in this match, and everyone was doubting this match because at times Seth felt like a third wheel. At times Roman might have felt like a third wheel because of the history between Seth and Punk so far. But they managed to keep everyone invested in each other and everyone relevant.
Yep.
And then to have it pay off in this manner.
For us, it made WrestleMania Night 1 go from sort of here to here.
Yeah,
it was
went
just
straight up.
Rocketed it up. It was such a brilliantly booked, and everything was acted, wrestled to a T. It was perfect. It was such a good main event.
And then that peak continued into the opening match of Night 1, the women's triple threat.
Maybe even Night 2.
Yeah. Thank you for the correction.
You're welcome.
Into Night 2, the women's triple threat for the Raw Women's Championship. Time we got on that, just shy of 15 minutes for that match.
That's short.
But that match was absolute mayhem for the entirety of it. That was probably the fastest paced match on the WrestleMania card.
Yep.
It's spot after spot, sequence after sequence. And it just had everyone invested because there were times where, oh, shit, Rhea's going to win. Oh, no, Bianca's going to win. No,
our girl.
And it felt so, I texted my wife and I was like, it felt so wrong not cheering for Rhea in that match. But I'm so happy that EO won that.
Yeah. I mean, the entrances to this were obviously great. I think I missed Bianca's one because I was getting food and stuff ready.
Yeah. She had a bunch of...
Montez's kid or something, someone was saying?
Montez's daughter, so Bianca's stepdaughter.
Yeah.
A bunch of elderly skippers. I didn't quite catch any reference from the announcer's desk about who they were and what they were there for. They had skipping ropes out and they were all there doing the jumpy jump.
Rhea got the joke, the Batman Who Laughs entrance.
Yeah. As soon as she came out and I saw it was skull hands in a crown and then over her eyes. And as soon as I saw that, and then the red lipstick for Rhea, great look. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're correct in our assumption.
I assume so. Because it definitely looked like it.
And then EO came out first, which we thought was very odd. Oh, who's getting the big spectacle entrance? So no one really got a spectacle entrance.
The interesting point for this whole night, bar I think the end, the person who came out last did not win the match.
Yeah.
All weekend. So as always, the first person out was winning. And EO was first.
Yep.
And EO won. Look, this match was we knew that this was going to be such a great match. We knew all three of them had such good chemistry together and they were going to be able to put a banger on. And it's exactly what they did. The finishing move to finishing move to finishing move. The top rope riptide.
kicking out of a top rope riptide. Oh, you got on my nerves a little bit with that one.
That was crazy. All the different spots where it was crazy. The finish itself, I think, was brilliant in that Io was up on the top rope. She got banged into the corner, and she was, Io's out. And then the camera just panned just enough that you missed. She wasn't in shot anymore. And so then you've got Rhea and Bianca, and then Bianca gets Rhea up, hits the KOD.
Goes for the pin.
Wide shot comes, and
moonsault, boom, right onto it. And then Bianca Belair got pinned.
Undefeated at WrestleMania. Not anymore.
And Rhea still has not beaten Io Sky.
Oh, I'm so glad for that. That's such a good finish.
It's a good record. Great finish for it as well.
Like I was saying to you guys throughout watching it, they made a point during the week to say that Bianca had not been pinned at WrestleMania.
Yes, because she did lose that Battle Royal.
Correct, but she hadn't been pinned, right? No. So that was the streak. And I was like, well, if that's the streak you want to continue, then fine. But that means that Io pins Rhea.
But that's always the thing. Whenever they make a strong point about a statistic like that,
it comes into play.
Yeah, it comes into play, and then it's not a statistic.
Not a statistic anymore.
Yes, thank you.
So Io retains. This set the crowd off for the whole rest of the night because the energy was just through the roof. And the whole night too,
I feel like
foot to the floor on the accelerator.
Yeah, the first 4 matches, just energy through the roof. After that kind of dipped down a bit and then petered off a little bit. It came up and
then what was the next match?
The Sin City Street Fight, which we were trying to figure out once that women's match concluded, what would be a great second match for this? Because second match of the night is always a position you don't want to be in because usually the first match gets everyone's energy levels high and then that second match doesn't quite match it. Having this street fight was the perfect choice because you've got the weapons involved. You've got chairs, stairs, tables, and Drew taking selfies while Damian Priest has laid it out and then putting it on social media.
Bored at work again, lol.
He did. For repeated years, he will be best social media star.
He's untouchable.
No one can touch him.
Again, being WrestleMania, we're going to talk about the entrances to this. Drew getting the Doom entrance.
Yeah.
Looked sick.
Nice catch on that.
With his Doom type gear. And then Damien getting your mate.
Kerry King from Slayer, who actually does the intro guitar for Damian Priest's full entrance.
Well, he did it for his full entrance.
Well, yeah, he came out and he played it live. I actually heard rumours about Slayer coming to WrestleMania Night 2 yesterday from a mate.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, that checks out because I knew Kerry King did the guitar for Damian Priest's music.
All rise for
the outlaw
rock star. They both looked good. And look, we've all said for a while, and I think everyone was sort of saying that Drew deserved better at WrestleMania. For what he had last year, it should be in a world title match. He should be in a main event. And he said, I can't remember which interview or podcast he did it on. He was just like, just give us a chance to put the match on.
Yeah. Let us tell the story first.
And he was right, because this was really fun. This put over both guys as absolute beasts. The table spots are great. Drew getting razors edged through a table in the ring, phenomenal. The chair spots, the
future shock DDT on the stairs.
His back would be so sore. Yeah. Damien taking, the finish of the match was great because obviously, as soon as you put 2 tables outside the ring, someone's going through them.
Yeah, and usually the one who sets it up is the one who goes through.
Which was Drew.
Not this time.
Damien gets up the top.
Goes for old school.
Yeah, because, he is, the emo Undertaker.
Yeah. Bisexual Undertaker.
Well, I wasn't going to say that on this podcast, but thanks, Reece.
Hey, you got to give him representation.
Okay, fair call. So the bisexual Undertaker goes for the old school. And Drew just goes, nah, yeet.
Splat through the tables. Gets him in. Earlier in the match, Damian Priest had propped a steel chair in between the buckles in the ring ropes. And Drew McIntyre
holds his head against it.
Drags him in the ring, holds his head against it. Claymore straight into the chair. 1, 2, 3.
Great.
We all thought Drew should win this. Happy that he did.
And
amazing match.
And I think it made Damien look strong. Yeah. I don't think Damien's coming out of this looking bad.
Well, going through 2 tables and then having a Claymore into a chair to then succumb to defeat. That's a pretty noble way to go out.
Yeah. I think this was 2 big guys given a challenge of the crowd might not care about your feud, boys.
Prove them wrong.
And they did.
They did, absolutely. I was one of the people who was not overly invested in this feud in the lead-up.
Can we now talk about the highlight of the night for me?
Ooh!
Our
Dirty
boy.
Dom!
Oh my God, he's a face. Everybody loves Dirty Dom.
I fucking called the finish. I called it. I said frog splash
You're right,
on
eh?
Finn to win the IC title. And it fucking happened. So good. This whole match, like this match and the next one, was just like the gas was on 110% up until the end of the next match. And this Fatal 4-Way was just non-stop.
How this was 10 minutes as well, I don't understand. This was
And it
so
was just
much
like,
jam-packed into
just
that.
constant, huge spots from Bron, as always. Him doing like a massive leaping shoulder charge
Yep.
in the outside, doing a 15-foot spear to Carlito through the announce table.
From one table to the other.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
Penta's gear and his entrance was great. Dom with the mask that he couldn't quite get off because his mullet got caught in it was hilarious. Finn with his... The fact that Pat and Cole started talking about like the mask that Finn was wearing is like we've kind of
was a
reached the last-
shirt.
was that- It's not. Finn's always had that thing where he just covers his whole head and he just pulls it. It's like a bag type thing.
The hood, it
hood,
looked
yeah.
like a shirt to me this time, but
It's
anyway.
not. It's not a mask. Quick shout out throughout the whole weekend to Pat, Cole, and Wade Barrett on his first WrestleMania. They were really good.
Yeah, entertaining the whole way.
There was no bad spots. I think Pat McAfee made some really stinging one-liners throughout this that was really, really good.
Classic Pat McAfee.
He was very good on this. But this match, man, the Bron was hitting the spears, Penta was hitting super kicks, the Canadian Destroyer in the middle of the ring to Dom. Everything's going. When Dom first goes to set up Finn Balor for the 619 and he blocks it, you're like, oh, finally, there's the tension of them splitting up. What got me was when Dom started to do the Three Amigos, the crowd was cheering him, and he got all of the love for this match. It was
Yeah.
all pro Dom, which I'm totally for.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said to you offline after when we were watching the press conference, there's only so much people can do, have such a strong work ethic in wrestling and be a heel. Eventually you just start to like them, and it's happening for Dom. He's just naturally gone to a babyface now, especially. And I hope this continues throughout the rest. And it's not just a WrestleMania anomaly, you know? It's not just, surge of the moment, the excitement of WrestleMania. We want something new, and it's Dom. We choose Dom.
And you know
I
what?
hope it's not just a one-off.
And it's not just that very Mark-esque WrestleMania crowd that cheers the heels that they want to.
Yeah.
If you watched the post-match presser, they had Dom come out on the thing with Big E and whoever else was on there. And Dom said to Big E, have you won the IC title before? He's like, yeah, 2 times. He's like, I'm already a better champion than you are, and I've had it for 30 minutes. but like that
smuggling.
heel remark, the crowd cheered him,
woo.
loved it. And the fact that he said that he's now carrying the legacy of both the Guerreros and the Mysterios on his shoulders while wearing an Eddie shirt. Mate,
Love it. Love it.
He's
I'm here for it. I'm ready for Dom to have his time.
And again,
I hope he gets a pretty decent run.
this finish with Finn hitting the coup de grace and then copping the frog splash was exactly what Reece called was going to happen.
A little different way, but I called the frog splash to Finn for the pin for Dom.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy.
It's so awesome. And then seeing Dom sort of walk up the ramp and then the crowd cheering for him, he's like, screw it.
He just runs back down to the ring, starts posing in the ring again. Love it. Moving on to the next match. Randy Orton's Open Challenge. And here we are. We're speculating for days
Straight
and
out of
weeks.
nowhere.
Days and weeks. Oh, it's going to be Nick Aldis. It's going to be Aleister Black. No, that got debunked when we watched SmackDown because he's
maybe that's a
debuting on
swerve.
SmackDown next week. Yeah, maybe that's a swerve. Maybe it's going to be Rusev Day. No. And then Brock Lesnar returns. We're just throwing out all these
Maybe
ideas.
it's Carmelo because he won the thing.
And then detention.
Before that, you got Randy in the ring in his old
In
gear,
his old gear. I did note that down.
reminiscent of WrestleMania 20.
His like classic gear.
Yeah, but like I think it was 21 was his debut 20 years ago.
But that was his like pre-evolution gear that he had on.
Yep. 21 I think it was he wore the same but
Was
the
it?
shorts, the bike shorts,
Yeah.
in the same color with the gold Orton on it. I'm pretty sure. We'll find a photo. I swear I saw a photo.
I reckon dead are we wrong.
Shut up.
I trust that noggin of mine.
But
I'll
when
happily
he
be
gets the
proven wrong.
microphone and says, it's big WrestleMania, I'm here for my moment. Anyone in the back wants to do it. Remember, you're going up against the 3 greatest words in wrestling history. RKO sets the scene. The whole crowd, it's palpable. You can see who is it going to be. And the camera zooms right in on the door. And you're like, whoa.
Opens and I was like, oh, it's Nick Aldis, because it looked like a similar build to Nick Aldis, and I was like, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Amazing. Holy. On anyone's radar, that was not one of my picks.
I don't know why it wasn't, though.
For me,
He was in the Rumble. He said to HBK and Triple H, any place, anytime, I'm there for you. He's been on TNA. They've got a partnership. I was like, this makes, like, when I look at it now,
it makes so much sense. But, like, for me, during the week, they kept talking about this rumored scheduled match with The Miz that they were going to do for Joe Hendry on Raw.
Yeah.
And the fact that that didn't get done because they didn't want Joe Hendry to lose. And for some reason, my brain was like, he's not showing up at WrestleMania. So I just cast him out. I was like, no, he's not appearing.
I saw somebody on Twitter tweet, how could TNA send their champion to get buried at WrestleMania to Randy Orton?
It's Randy Orton, bro. That's not buried.
AJ Francis, so Top Dollar, tweeted and said, if that's a burying, sign me up for next. And there's a picture of him like covering himself in dirt going into a grave. Like, that's not being buried, man. Like, getting this kind of a spot. Triple H said in the post-match too, he said to Joe Hendry, like, enjoy this because you'll be back.
Yeah.
This is not going to be your last WrestleMania.
What a WrestleMania moment. What a WrestleMania debut. He's hiding in our set. And the parts that we have to call out a couple times.
The walk down and then the Joe turn. Perfect.
Perfect.
And then in the match, he goes for the mic stand, gets blocked, and then he hits the big power slam on Randy.
And then he sets up on hard cam. Came out of nowhere. Excellent way to finish the match.
So
good.
Perfect.
And like that was the thing, like after having the potential of Randy and Kevin Owens, and like what a huge match that could have been, that would have been back-to-back Manias. Randy and KO were opponents.
Yeah, because
they were in the triple threat last year. Pivoting from that, which would have been an amazing match, to then getting the excitement and the comedy of that moment with Joe Hendry.
And then walking Joe around, putting his hand up to each side. We're like, he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again.
Boom!
Bang. Okay.
Gets it again.
And then Randy. Randy turning.
Magic! Magic! It was so good.
This was, like, I think you said it. This is what this WrestleMania needed. We needed a fun moment. Yeah, fun. Needed a comedy and a fun moment where everyone's just like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what happens.
Nobody hated that except stupid Marks that think it was burying Joe Hendry. Appearing at WrestleMania 41 against the 14-time WWE champion Randy Orton.
In his 20th WrestleMania match. Like, that was exactly what this night needed.
Randy looked like he was having so much fun too.
Yep.
That's what you love to see. You'll love to see it. Speaking of fun, maybe not a lot of fun was had in the next match. Logan Paul versus AJ
What do you mean not a lot of fun?
Nah, I'm just trying to bait people.
Oh, fair enough. It's clickbait. Next question.
I still love that clip, dude. It was just so unexpected. I cracked up. Logan Paul's entrance, he really knows how to have a spectacle entrance. Coming out, holding it. I just thought it was a selfie stick.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's cool. He's doing his whole like social media thing. And then he just goes, and it's just a drone. And the drone like flies around the arena and like gets that massive shot of the stage. And, like, everyone's on top of the rafter and on the side of the stage. And then he starts walking down the ramp. And then it's like he's on one shot. And then he's on two. And then he's on 4, and then he's on 9, and he's innovation. It's so good. And then the drone, it keeps flying around, and he gets in the ring and he poses, and then he gets the drone back, and then he goes places it on top of his Prime bottle.
You can hate Logan Paul the person all you want.
You can't hate the entertainer, dude.
He's just very good.
It's just I just sat there with a big grin on my face, like it was. In terms of spectacle entrances for WrestleMania. It was minimalistic, but it was something new, and it was just a sight to see.
Yep.
Absolutely loved it.
And AJ was phenomenal as always.
Yeah, he just strolled down to the ring and did his whole...
I love the little head bobble.
It's the arm pose for me too.
Look, this match was fun. We knew it was going to be athletic. We knew there was going to be some big spots. I didn't, unfortunately, get my, side-to-side... move that they were going to do. There was, however, a moonsault, a lion salt off the ropes from Logan Paul that literally went from one side of
the
the ring to the
entire
other.
ring, dude.
Oh my God.
Mental. And it was kind of this point of the night, things started slowing down a bit. I don't think it was really in a bad way because you can't keep, like the rest of the show, the 5 matches that came on previously, 4 matches, was just so high intensity. And it was just like, you can't keep that energy going for the whole thing. So it had a little dip down in a very good way for this match because AJ, he's not quite what he used to be anymore. He can still absolutely put on a banger, but in a respectful way.
Okay.
Because he has come out and said himself that there are still some moves that he can't pull anymore. So that's the sort of terminology. It's not what he used to be. He's still absolutely phenomenal in the ring. But yeah, having a bit of a slower pace match, putting Logan Paul over clean in the match. One of Logan's henchmen came into play because of course they did.
It's Jeff, I've been told.
My name's Jeff.
That was my reaction as well. I was like, oh, it's just the
My
prime
name's
dude.
Jeff. Brings out the knuckles, tries to put him in the ring. Karrion Kross shows up, which I was not expecting. So I popped for this. I was pretty happy to see that. And he's just like, give me the brass knuckles, mate. Takes it, gives it to AJ Styles. He's like, Alan, just please take these, use them, do it for me. Calling him Alan, his actual name.
And this has been the thing that Karrion's been doing for weeks, trying to get the bad guy out of AJ, trying to get everything out of him because you've got to do this for the business. Yeah. Hey, Logan Paul is not us. He's not here. He's not a wrestler. If everything that you've said about, being a wrestler in this business and having careers and stuff is true, you have to prove that by beating the outsider. Do it. Do whatever you have to do. Get the job done. And when you saw the match last week with Karrion against AJ, when he put his hands behind his back.
I love that everyone's picking up onto that.
Because he knew.
I noticed it but didn't say anything when I watched Smackdown.
He knew it's what he had to do. Yeah. Karrion making the sacrifice was to make AJ better, and he had to do it.
The layers of Karrion Kross's storytelling.
So good.
It's call it all the way back to that moment when we all thought he was going to go for the Universal title against Roman Reigns. Scarlett puts the hourglass in the ring, flips it. And that started the timer to dissolve the bloodline. And now there is no bloodline. Wow. Just the layers of storytelling. AJ would not use the brass knuckles. Threw him away. Back in the ring. Got the punch. He got the punch, did he? Yep. And then the pulverizer.
Which, look, it's such a sick finish. I do agree with the comment that Josh made around that he needs someone to take the pulverizer and he can't give it to everybody.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see. I mean, really, it's just a standing backflip from the person taking it.
I could see that, like, any sort of miscommunication there. I feel like that could be a very devastating result if that move's done wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm not going to call out people specifically, but I'm going to. I don't know if I could see Roman Reigns taking it cleanly.
And like, that's the thing, like, people need the agility to be able to backflip. Like, yes, you'll, like, speaking like I've got in-ring experience, you'll have that help from Logan to backflip over, but like
push around.
Yeah, like you need to be able to torque your body over and around as well.
Yeah, so he's not hitting it on Bronson Reed. He's not hitting
Braun Breaker though.
Braun Breaker for sure. But he's not hitting it on Braun Strowman and stuff. So it kind of limits. But that's why he's got the
That's
fist.
why he's got the titanium reinforced fist. Moving on to the second last match of this humongous WrestleMania card. One that this is where we come into the questionable decision of the result of this match.
And the booking of this match. The booking, and the setting up of this match.
We missed, we'll call ourselves out. I'll call us out. We missed the whole Bayley getting attacked thing from prior to WrestleMania Night 1.
Mm-hmm.
So when Ted, halfway through the event, they showed the graphic, we're like, hang on, where's Bayley? Old Ted was like, oh, didn't you see? She got attacked.
No, we didn't say.
Hey, no, we didn't. Stayed off social media. I was watching Stand and Deliver. So that was interesting. And then, like, as soon as I saw that, knew Bayley was out of the match, I was just, oh, fuck, it's Becky, isn't it? Tried to convince myself otherwise.
It was always Becky.
But it was always Becky. And here's my gripe with the match. Why? I get the link between Lyra and Becky. Mm-hmm. No, they're both Irish. Hey, that's the link.
Wow, amazing.
Master, protege, like idol, rookie, like whatever way you want to spin it. I get the link and the relation.
Uh-huh.
You could have given us Bailey and Becky as your tag team champions instead of trying to make 2 belts Lyra a thing. She doesn't even fucking defend her Intercontinental Championship well enough to be able to get a second championship.
What are you talking about? This is just another feather in the cap.
It's feathers all over the ring, mate. I don't understand the booking decision there.
What is it with you against women wrestlers who woo? Charlotte, woo! Lyra, woo! Woo!
Look, I'm not taking anything away from Lyra.
Yes, you are.
But I want to take her tag title away from her and give it to Bailey. She's a great wrestler. She's phenomenal. But you could have given us Bailey and Becky instead.
The pop for returning Bex was great.
Yeah.
Big time Bex, good on you.
Great. I was then immediately deflated.
Because I knew they were going to
win.
win. And I was really hoping Liv and Raquel as an actual tag team would retain the tag team titles.
There you go again, putting 2 random singles competitors together and having them beat a legitimate tag team.
The only way this works is if they go take it down to NXT and lose the belts.
Yeah.
And they disappear back to NXT
It comes out and we rehashed the whole Naomi Jade storyline and it was Becky who took out Bailey.
Well, I mean, my thought was that it's Roxanne that took out Bailey and that leads to a Roxy and Bailey feud, which I'm really happy for.
That. I like that idea.
But I was kind of going to hope that maybe Roxy was the person replacing Bailey because you'd be like, oh.
But then you've got like a face and a heel going together and that just wouldn't make sense. Yeah. Like I would have loved to see that, but then like that juxtaposition was the word again. The word of the podcast, juxtaposition. I'm going to have Luke edit that in there and just like,
the more you know.
Yeah. There's a challenge for you, Luke. Yeah, look, it is what it is. I'm sure I'll get over it in the coming days.
I won't.
In the moment, there was a better option and they didn't go with it and it just... I'm done. I'm not talking about it anymore. I've had my rant.
He's starting to crash out just like Stone Cold does.
Yeah.
So
poor lady.
The next thing we need to talk about is just Stone Cold. So the glass shatters. Stone Cold comes out to give us the crowd numbers.
124,693 combined over both days.
Which
is funny because majority of that's going to be the same people that are counted twice.
Of course, but over $60,000, 60,000 people per night it's pretty huge. Yes. However, for all you Americans and non-Australians, the Good Friday NRL football game between the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs and the South Sydney Rabbitohs had 65,000 people at it. So one football game had more people at it than either night of WrestleMania.
And you know what? Because tickets were affordable. Go fuck yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure Triple H said this is the highest gate on Saturday night, and then he'll say the same thing on Sunday.
We didn't quite catch it in the second press conference, but yeah, he definitely said it
was the biggest gate ever.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when, $25,000 a seat to sit around the ring.
When your nosebleed seats are over $1,000.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, Stone Cold comes out in his ATV. He's obviously had a few libations as well. He's hanging out with Jey Uso from before and crashed his ATV into the guardrail. And if you can find the clip of the lady, I'll see if Luke can put it in here. Stone Cold hits the barricade. Lady goes, oh, and falls over.
It's just like, and you see those videos all the time on social media of people like playing up an injury on like, slipping on something but regaining their balance and then just going, and falling over. And then you get the CCTV footage of it and you're just like, come on.
Really hope this lady is okay. He definitely hit the barricade with some force in that ATV. Nick Khan walked over, obviously was talking to the lady and stuff afterwards. They were checking on her with medical staff. So in all jest, hopefully she's okay and wasn't actually injured, but it was a pretty funny looking spot when he crashed into it.
Absolutely.
And then Stone Cold smashes an exorbitant number of beers all over his shirt, reads the crowd things, and we're like, sweet, is Pat going to get in the ring?
Who gets a stunner?
Who's going to get
stunned?
Is The Miz going to come out? Is this perfect spot for Carmelo Hayes to come out?
And the answer was no one.
Yeah. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like the Jey
that would have popped people even more.
The Jey Uso Too Cool no dance with Rikishi. Pretty big missed opportunity.
Like that was ever going to happen, bro.
Stone Cold giving anyone a stunner. Missed opportunity.
That's a bigger missed opportunity. Now it comes time to discuss 17. John Cena comes out first. Black. Just I really loved this. The Titantron. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Cena into the Down on the Mat podcast
John,
studio.
how did you feel about that main event? What were your emotions going through?
I feel like that's a bit of a clickbait question. Next question.
How do you feel about having your 17th World Championship and erasing all the other people from the record books?
No, I feel like that's looking for clickbait headlines. Next question, please.
All the story with The Rock and Travis Scott that's happened up into WrestleMania obviously was building to a point. What was the storyline behind all of that?
Well, it seems like you're looking for clickbait headlines. Next question, please. So good. We haven't even started talking about the match yet, but that press conference interaction was so much better than the mic drop he did after Elimination Chamber.
And the fact that, and I said to you afterwards, I was like, if Triple H, when he comes out, if the first question he gets answered and he doesn't say, that sounds like a clickbait question.
Missed opportunity.
And he did it.
He did. He fucking did it.
It was a great question. The kid asked this beautiful question about like all the people you bring into Las Vegas and the money that's made and the experiences that everybody has.
CM Punk's
What do you think of that for WrestleMania? And Triple H is like, sounds like a bit of a clickbait question.
But then he went and answered the question.
So that was great.
Yeah, John Cena's entrance. I loved it.
I love this.
No lights, no color, no nothing. He came out in his black shirt and just John Cena on a black Titantron.
Perfect.
And over everything. Great.
Perfect.
Great. Loved it. Cody comes out with his sick motocross guys going up and down the ramp and comes up through the stage with his cool fucking Iron Man mask. It just
Also pretty sick.
Pops up. Popped hard for that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And then we get into the match and we get that Hogan Rock spot. Not quite, but we got it. The crowd's just... The anticipation is there.
There's a
the
lot
crowd's
of boos for Cody. A lot of
on
boos for
SmackDown
Cody.
too, I noticed this, and crowd's done with Cody, man.
Well,
like, it's still fun to whoa and stuff, but for me, he has some good promo interactions at times. I think his ones with John Cena in the lead up to WrestleMania have been some of his best that he's ever done.
Agree.
To me.
Yep.
But I'm still kind of, what do we want to talk about?
What's his new podcast series?
No, he's got a podcast about it. I hate that saying, bro. It's lame. It's not a cool slogan that we have in wrestling. Like, what?
What?
And yeah.
Yeah.
A yeet.
Yeet. No yeet.
No yeet.
So
yeah.
what do you really think about this?
What, the match?
Yeah.
I think this.
It doesn't matter what you think. See, that's way better.
Clickbait headlines. It's going to rehash the clickbait headlines.
Oh, that's quite funny.
I got done. Bit of a slow start to the match. 4 AAs kicking out of, like, are you mental?
So I don't remember a lot of the match, right? There was a few spots where Cena did, he wrestled a little bit.
He proved to everyone that he can wrestle.
He hit an AA early. What I liked from Cena was that when he was doing the 5 moves of doom, rather than hitting them, he hit the first one and slowly. He's like, I know you want this.
He's
I'm not doing
just
it.
playing the crowd like a fiddle.
5-knuckle shuffle was slower than normal. Yeah. He hits that. He
AA.
hits the top rope AA.
That was the second one.
And Cody kicks out of that.
And I was like, okay, here we go.
And we're like, okay, well, what's going to happen? And then we get a ref bump. And we're like, all right.
Here we go.
Now we're starting. Now we're cooking with something that's going to happen. Cody hits the crossroads, gets the visual 3 count.
No.
Ref's not up. All right, what are we going to do next? And then the ref gets back up, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was 2 because the ref got back up. John Cena hit his.
No, this was the
AA.
point when Travis Scott came out.
Yeah, John Cena hit his 3rd AA before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he hit the 3rd AA. Cody kicked out.
Then there's the ref bump.
Yeah.
Then the Cody crossroads, and then as he kicks out, that's when
Travis comes out.
Bing, 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 bing.
Fiend.
I think I've heard that song 47 minutes of this weekend. Just Fiend.
Done with that song. Like, it wasn't overhyped before wrestling. That's a much better song. I'm a big Weekend fan, so I'll hype that up.
Nah, they both suck.
What? It's the same song. It's just got an extra syllable.
Correct. They both suck. And then Travis Scott saunters his way to the ring.
He pulled out the ref.
Well, first of all, he gets up on the ropes. Cody goes to swing at him. He jumps away.
I forgot about this interaction.
Cena hits.
Maybe that's where he hit his 3rd AA.
No, he went for the AA and Cody reversed that into the crossroads.
Yeah, there we go.
That's when the ref goes 1-2 and Travis Scott pulls him out, which knocks the referee out because he's fallen
made
on
of
the ground.
glass.
Oh, he's out. Travis gets into the ring, tries to punch Cody. Cody gives him a crossroads.
Yep.
John Cena grabs the belt, goes for the belt shot. They stop. A bit of a. You want to And Cody gets the belt. And then Cena's like, no, hang on, don't do it. Don't do it. Just please, just don't do it. You're the good guy. Don't do it. It's boom in the nuts.
Cody drops the belt. Boom in the nuts. Cena picks it up, hits him with the belt. Attitude adjustment, and then that's it. That's 1, 2, 3 done.
Did he even hit him with an AA?
I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah,
I thought it was just belt shot done.
because I noted down.
I thought it was nut shot.
Oh,
belt
yeah.
shot, done.
Maybe it was.
It was.
Because
no
I
AA.
noted that Travis Scott came out and Cody kicks out of a 4th AA.
Yes.
And then Travis Scott pulled the ref out.
Yes. And the finish was the spot where Cody's got the belt to hit Cena, and Cena has always said you've got to if you have to be the good guy and you do it for them, you're not doing it for yourself. And sometimes you've got to know when to do it. Do what you have to do, what's best for business. And that's what Cena has said this whole heel turn and heel run that he's had is he does not care about anybody else now. He's got to do what he has to do.
He's going to ruin wrestling.
He's going to ruin wrestling. And Cody had the belt. Cody could have whacked him with it and won that match, kept his title. But he couldn't do
The ref
it.
wasn't looking.
Could not do it. So Cena took advantage. Nut shot, belt shot,
Boom.
1, 2, 3. A lot of people are not happy with this finish. And we were stunned salmon when this happened because we were like, oh, that's it. That's the finish.
Because where's The Rock? He's over in Hawaii.
Where's anyone? Where's other interference? Where's little Nate screaming down the ramp to try and get a 3 count when the other ref's not? Nothing. We've been so used to this bloodline rules and all these main events with Cody where there's all these different moving parts and everything happening. Didn't.
This is wrestling.
Travis Scott was out there. Travis Scott not involved with wrestling per se. He's obviously part of this storyline, but he cops a crossroads. He pulls a referee out. That's it.
Done.
Finished. John Cena,
That's it.
17th title. He puts the belt over his back and he walks out. No fireworks, no confetti, no one coming out to congratulate him.
Big 17 on the Titantron at the entrance ramp.
And to me, this is exactly what John Cena and the WWE wanted you to think. Because this is John Cena ruining wrestling. Because him getting his 17th title is great. We as fans, we want him to get his 17th. We want him to break the record.
It's not the way that we
That's
wanted to
not
happen.
this way.
And that's the problem because we've had this so much with the bloodline. We've been used to. Nothing's going to happen in this match until someone from the bloodline gets involved. WrestleMania 40 last year, bloodline rules. Nothing's happening in this match until someone from the bloodline gets involved.
Yep.
So we have that preset expectation that nothing's going to happen until multiple people get involved.
And there's
What happened?
20 minutes to go.
It was just one person that got involved.
20 minutes to go of the night. We're all looking at our watches. We're like, how are they going to pull this for an hour-long match?
Yep.
They're not.
They didn't.
Because he's ruining wrestling for us. Because this is not the main event we wanted. We wanted a 5-star match with all of them, with all of the bells and whistles and everything, and then Cena, getting The Rock to hit 3 rock bottoms, and then he finally gets his pin, and it's made. No, you don't get any of it. You get heel John Cena winning his 17th and walking out with nothing, and not giving you anything in the press conference, not giving Cody any time. Cody didn't even have a conversation. He didn't talk to Kathy Kelly back. Nothing. This is what you get, and this is John Cena ruining wrestling.
Dom was behind John Cena.
Sorry, Dom.
Can't wait to see Raw tomorrow because he specifically said, tune into Raw tomorrow to see how I ruin wrestling.
Nothing. I bet he's going to do nothing.
Because now everyone's going to expect it.
I'll bet you.
And he's going to keep saying things and then doing the opposite to keep faking the crowd
They
out.
will boo him, and he will stand there, and they'll keep booing.
Like Roman Reigns after defeating The Undertaker. This is my yard.
No, not even that.
walking
And then he'll
away.
just put the mic up, and then he'll be like,
See ya.
"You're not worth it," and walk away. He's ruining wrestling, and this is the story he was telling, and I'm all for it. As much as in the moment I was shocked, frustrated, I hated the finish. This is shit. This is the worst finish to
Once you get
WrestleMania
time
ever.
to cool down and think about things,
It's exactly what they were doing. It's the whole point.
I have nothing else to say.
20 steps ahead.
When does The Rock come into play?
Doesn't matter.
Does he?
No, because if he
doesn't
does,
need to.
that's what we want. We're not getting what we want. They're ruining wrestling.
Genius. Anything else? Any closing remarks? We're just going to wrap it up there. I don't think there's much else to talk about. We talked about pretty much everything from WrestleMania weekend. Don't think there's anything we've missed out that we need to talk about. So,
I mean, I think I just want to give credit to obviously Triple H and I think the one thing that everyone needs to give credit to is the production team for WWE. The amount of wrestling that was on this weekend in Las Vegas, SmackDown, Hall of Fame, NXT, Slammies, Night 1, Night 2.
Props to Josh Barnett's Bloodsport as well,
GCW.
having like 6-7 WWE wrestlers on the card.
GCW was on the Thursday. There was also a show on the Friday. There was a few other smaller independent ones across Vegas. There was the Undertaker show. There's the Roasted WrestleMania on tonight. There's Raw tomorrow. Like, that is a lot of content just for WWE, but then also to give that same opportunity for like WrestleCon. WrestleCon had, Aussie wrestlers fly over there and were doing it at WrestleCon. You had Sting there. You had Ric Flair doing signings. You had TNA people. Nick Nemeth was there. Busted Open were across all weekend. Pat McAfee had his show running at the WWE.
He's going to be having a run tomorrow morning before Raw too.
Phenomenal effort from everybody to put all of this stuff on across the weekend and give nerds like us who love wrestling so much content to absorb and talk about and do these kind of podcasts. Because we thrive off having things to talk about, and having 5 days worth of just non-stop wrestling is amazing. So full credit to every single person involved, be it the person who helps put the ring up, to the person that stacks the chairs at the end of the night, to the cameraman, to the sound people, to the person that carries the water to make sure that Rhea Ripley's fine before she walks out to the Pat McAfee show. Every single person had a job, and weekend was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So massive props to that. Massive props to the stories that are coming out of it. Like Triple H says, WrestleMania is the end of a season and the start of a new one is tomorrow night. Here we go.
We got a short turnaround. Let's go. Let's strap in.
Strap in for what Seth and Heyman are going to do. Strap in for Cena. Strap in for...
There's just so much to digest on Raw tomorrow.
There's
It's going to be a phenomenal show. I can't wait.
And it's going to be that same crowd, and we're going to get Raw after Mania debuts.
And Triple H said on the press conference, it's going to be Raw after Mania tomorrow, and we're making it a thing.
Yep, he knows it.
And because I think, like, for the past few years, I feel like Raw after Mania has kind of dipped off to our expectations.
Well, there was that one, was it 2 years ago when Vince took over and rebooked everything, and it was just horrible.
It was just a normal Raw show. Like,
Everyone hated it.
Everyone expects those, like, maybe surprise title change, surprise returns, surprise debuts, like all that sort of stuff. I think we're getting that tomorrow. And I think it's just going to be, WrestleMania Night 3, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Can you imagine a 3-night WrestleMania? And then Raw after?
This is too much.
No, too much. Thank you for tuning in. We have been Down Under the Mat. This is Mr. Dan Danielson, an absolute wordsmith. I can't add to his already... I don't gel with words well.
It's a real
sometimes.
juxtaposition between how we talk.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. This is word of the day, juxtaposition. Every time it comes up, Luke, you have to put the juxtaposition banner up.
Yep.
Too much effort? Nah,
it's not too much
let's
effort.
put him to work.
This is WrestleMania.
Thank you, Mr. Dan Danielson. I've been wweraw. Thank you to our fans who tune into this show. We see you commenting on our posts all the time. We appreciate your support.
We certainly do.
We got to thank Ref Rachel in person the other week when we were at PWA. So thank you for consistently liking and commenting on all our posts on Instagram. Thank you to everyone else. I know there's a guy called Troy. He likes pretty much every single one of our Instagram posts. We see you consistently engaging with us, and thank you for the support. We'll see you next time. Down Under the Mat. Too sweet.
Go Dirty Dom.
Yeah, Dirty Dom.